asshole baby.
That's right, folks. Today we are going to be browsing the subreddit r/AITAH, which is abbreviated, of course, or am I the a-hole? Starting with this story. AITAH for telling my wife that if I waited for her to make memories with our son, we wouldn't have any. Last weekend, I, 39-year-old man, helped my son, 14-year-old male, dye his hair purple. Or my good friend who actually knew what he was doing helped dye my son's hair while I was there for music requests and object fetching. I love this guy. This guy's trying to be a good dad. You could just tell right here in these two sentences, you know. It was such a fun day, and I could tell how happy it made my boy. Okay, I've been watching Lost a lot recently, and this guy in the show keeps referring to his son, I think his name's Walt, as my boy. Like, you need to stay away from my boy. I don't know, man. There's something about it. It just feels like it's from a different time. I didn't tell my wife before we did this, and that was the catalyst to the fight we're currently having. Pause. You should probably tell your wife. You got to tell your wife. Because your son's appearance is going to be different. Talk to her, loop her in. Also, she's going to feel like she's going to feel left out. Loop her in, that's all. But for me, it's so much more than this one incident. My wife has been hands-off with our child for a while now. This is interesting. This is a very heavy sentence. His soccer games, little road trips to nearby amusement parks, back to school shopping. She's too busy with work or too tired from work. So I've mostly just stopped having the conversations. Why would I waste my breath to have the same conversations on repeat? Pause. If you're using phrases like, why should I waste my breath, when what you mean to say is talk to your wife, if you're using those interchangeably, that's an indicator of something, right? The night we dyed his hair, she started crying while we were talking, saying that we were making all of these memories without her. I asked her what she expected me to do. If we waited for her to make memories, we would be sitting in a dark room 100% of the time. My son isn't even really comfortable with her anymore. There is no, I can't take you, go ask your mom. Now it's, I'm sorry I can't take you. Let me see if blank is free that day. Oh, meaning like you don't, like it's not even a question to ask the mom to give the son a ride anywhere. Oh, so she's really busy. All right, so we got a situation where the mom is like worker mom and she's not there building these memories with this kid. And like, look, man, if she really is, just working constantly, I got a fly running around here, by the way. So if you see me looking around, there's a fly gunning for my forehead. My wife isn't speaking to me now, and I'm wondering if I took it too far. I don't know. I was hoping some brutal honesty would change something. I would have loved having more kids, but I guess it's for the best now that she said no. Oh, okay, so she said no to having more kids. So she became a mom, you became a dad, you're 39, your kid is 14, that means you had your kid at 17? No, don't include this. This is so embarrassing. Oh my God, don't you dare include this. Minus 14, 25. Oh my God, do not include that. Edit, I'm a stay-at-home dad. The original plan was for me to start working again when our son went to kindergarten, but my wife was gunning for a promotion around that time and asked me to stay at home longer. Once she got the promotion, her hours increased, so that time was extended once again. I am responsible for all the household chores and general homemaking tasks. I cook, clean, do all the yard work, all the grocery shopping, etc. I do enjoy being a stay-at-home dad, but I've been ready and willing to rejoin the workforce for a decade now. At this point, I will be getting a job when my son turns 16 and can get himself to and from school, but my wife still refuses to cut her hours even if I get a job, and gets frustrated every time I bring it up. There is no point in me forcing my son to ride the bus or figure out how to ride for himself if my wife still won't make the effort or compromise in order to spend time with him. A lot of companies really value an executive or somebody in the workforce who spends like a lot of time at the job, and it's not good. I mean, this is what's happening. This is just how America works anyways, that a lot of corporations expect people to be working more and more and more, and then the advantages get more and more and more. And so if this woman thinks that she cuts back on her hours and the pay goes down, or she might get demoted, that's a real fear that she has. However, why live? What I mean by that is, what is your purpose in life? Is it to just work and make money? That is a lot of people's driving force. It's sad. And it's just like all you know how to do. The only way that I know how to be useful is to make money, is to bring food to the table, make sure we have a safe, secure home, all this stuff. And she's out there, she's working, but she's also bitter about it. She's also sad about it because she's not able to be home there with her kid and with her husband. This sucks, dude. She probably feels stuck in this job and that she can't change her career because it's brought so much monetary significant value to the home. And she feels guilt. It's, this is a sad situation. Are you the a-hole for saying that? I think it's a wake-up call. I think she needs to hear that. It might be an inkling of something that's really sensitive in the back of her mind, but you actually verbalizing that out loud made it important to her. And so hopefully change can be made. Marriage therapy, some kind of counseling should be an effort together. Listen, this could easily be a gender-swapped story. There are so many AITAs about wives who stopped trying to artificially create moments for their husbands to be dads. And you are just as NTA as they are. Being a parent is so much more than financial support. It is about emotional presence. You are there for your son, and it hurts him each time your wife has said she doesn't have time to be there for him, that it now hurts him less to ask. Your son is the priority, not your wife's feelings. She is reaping the consequences of being a parent in finances only. Keep parenting your son. Don't hold back your love for him in order to make her feel less guilty. NTA. Yeah, the fact that you have to default to let me see if a friend of yours is free that day to take your son somewhere as opposed to your wife, that sucks, dude. And I'm trying to put myself in her shoes because I'm a business owner, you know what I'm saying? I do this. I have main channel. I drop a short every day. I'm on TikTok. I'm on YouTube. I've got a team and all that stuff. And one day I want to be a parent. And so right now in my early 30s, I'm 32. And right now I'm trying to figure out a way to where lifestyle wise, I can make content or maybe have another source of revenue very easily amongst my peer group. We get lost in the sauce and we're thinking about videos 24/7 and horrible. I mean, just for creators, or I think really for people who work from home in any capacity or who are entrepreneurs at all, quote unquote, I think working from home is such a way to blur work-life balance to where, I'd be scared if a lot of my peers had kids right now, the way that they're working. And so you got to work extra hard is all I'm saying. You got to work extra hard to make time or prepare or figure out a way to have kids and fit kids into your life in a way where you're able to focus on them and parent them and be there for these memories. But yeah, dude, if you're gonna work really, really hard, what's it for? I think continuously asking yourself, what am I doing this for, is gonna help you from losing yourself in the work. Because we as human beings, 40,000 years ago, we used to be hopping around looking for berries and looking for prey and like trying to eat. We are very objective oriented. And so when we have a target in front of us, for example, this woman making as much money as I can, she's locked into that. She can't detach. The problem is that she's not there for her kid, and it's sad. And her husband's suffering from it. Her son is suffering from it. Her marriage is, suffering from it. I'm not going to say it's falling apart because I don't know. But you got to be careful. Let's read some more of these comments. NTA, your kid cannot go into stasis until your partner magically has time. Literally nothing works that way. The things you do now are the childhood memories your child is going to have. My ex was super checked out on the kids until we got divorced. It was like he kind of realized that he wasn't being that bad, because if he was that bad, I would leave. And me saying I was leaving upended his denial. Yeah, dude, you deny until you get a consequence a lot of times. For what it's worth, this got my career moving again, and now I do sometimes have to say no to my kids because of work, but I try to create time for them around work obligations, and their dad is now available. There's no guarantee it works that way for everyone. So I guess do what you're doing, have your moments with your child as they come at you, and tell your wife that the only way she gets those moments is to take them. You have to take them. You have to carve out time, dude. Some of the best times with my kids have been tiny, tiny things. Stand by the front door and yell that you're going to the store for snacks, and $20 will get you a half hour of delightful teenage company. Dude, snacks rock. You know what I like? I'm going to say what I like right now. Tostitos chips with a hint of lime. Bonus points if it's the scoops. This right here is it. I don't even need the salsa. I'm going to say it. I don't even need the salsa. I could eat this all day. All right, next story. AITAH for getting a new nurse fired for accusing me of having an affair with my father. Nope. Hey, Reddit, I was a hospital social worker at a small hospital. My dad is one of the ER day shift charge nurses. A charge nurse, for those of you who don't know, is a nurse who sort of schedules things. They're kind of a head nurse, okay? I know this because my mom was a charge nurse of a neurofloor at a children's hospital. A few weeks ago, I was in the ER trying to figure out placement for an elderly patient. When I was leaving, I had a chat with my dad in the hallway. Before I left, he gave me a big hug and told me not to be late for dinner. I joked about how I'm going to order the most expensive steak on the menu since it's his turn to pay. I am a 27-year-old female. My dad is 51. There was a new nurse at the nurse's station nearby. Pretty much everyone knows that he's my dad. I hadn't spoken with this new nurse much, though, and she didn't know. Apparently, she thought my dad and I were having an affair based off of what she heard/saw. She knew my dad's married to my mom, who brings him lunch sometimes. She immediately began gossiping to some of the other staff I think is what this is meant to say, that my dad is having an affair with the hospital social worker, aka me. One older nurse that I've known for a long time immediately came to tell me. I don't think she liked this new nurse very much. I guess no one decided to tell her that he's my dad. I hate gossipers, dude. Freaking same. I understand. I do. I understand. I don't know what it is about nurses, but I swear to God, some of them really love to spread rumors. Yeah, dude, of course. I decided to not take it up with her, and I just went straight to HR. We were both asked to come into HR after our shift was over, along with my dad. Now, the HR lady knew that he's my father. When new nurse came in, she was asked to explain, and she said she thinks it's terrible that we would so blatantly have an affair, and she was shocked because she thought my dad seemed like such a nice guy. My dad then decided to speak up and explain that I'm his child. The new nurse was mortified and apologized profusely. The HR lady asked me and my dad to leave. They had a meeting with the unit manager, and it was decided that the new nurse would be fired immediately because she was still in her 90-day probationary period. Yep, there you go. Because that creates a stupid working environment, and she's going to learn from that, dude. You're going to learn from that. Some people need a freaking consequence in order to learn from their actions. This is one of those circumstances. My mom thinks I'm a jerk, and I should have just brought it up to the nurse instead of bringing it to HR when I knew she would probably get fired. I think my mom is also sympathetic because she stalked the woman's Facebook, and she's a single mom or whatever. Dude, yeah, there's gossiping everywhere, and this woman had no idea. She didn't have that information. You were able to target somebody who was ignorant of information, who thought she was seeing an affair. But ultimately, if you are a new person at a job and the first thing you do is start talking crazy to people about people you don't know anything about, why don't you just ask around? Why don't you just gather information instead of immediately gossiping? That's not somebody you want to work with. Most people quit their jobs because their boss is a dick or their coworkers suck. And you are the coworker that sucks. And so, of course, you want to boost morale at that hospital. Get rid of the gossiper who is spreading crazy lies and rumors around, who is looking for a problem, and who is on a moral high horse so high that your heads are in the clouds and you can't see that this was his daughter. And so now you embarrassed yourself. And Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack up on the beanstalk, falls down and breaks their neck. I think I was right to get her fired because the hospital doesn't need a bunch of nurses sitting on their asses gossiping instead of doing their jobs. This sounds like my mom. This literally sounds like my mom wrote that. That's so funny. My dad is embarrassed and feels awkward about the whole thing. It's not the first time someone had thought I was dating my dad. We aren't weird or anything, but it happens. Anywho, AITA. No, I don't think you're the a-hole. And also, you didn't deliberately get her fired. You told HR, which is important. You should do that. And HR's job is to nip stuff like this in the bud. They're going to be like, okay. And then they determine whether or not, the hospital keeps you on. And nurses, by the way, they have job security. It's not like she's not going to find another job. She's going to find another job. Nurses have job security. Traveling nurses or whatever, the hospitals are always in need of nurses. So she's going to be fine. She's going to have a job somewhere. But yeah, this is really... She played a really stupid game and she won a terrific prize. Let's see what the comments say. NTA, she didn't just misunderstand. She gossiped about a serious accusation without knowing the facts. That's true. She could have ruined a marriage. It could have been any situation, but the fact that she's so willing to gossip and willing to put herself in the middle of something that is a problem. Yeah, she was looking for something and she found it. In a professional setting, that's unacceptable. You went through the right channels. Her being on probation or a single mom doesn't excuse that behavior. She could have really messed up Op's parents' marriage too if she told Op's mom without saying it was Op that the dad hugged. Yes, this Op, your mom is upset that you didn't just go straight to the new nurse and tell her what's what. But new nurse also did not come to you, nor go to your dad, nor ask a single other person about your relationship to him. She made a snap assumption over a hug, by the way, and then she just started gossiping about you as if you are a homewrecker, telling everyone that you were having an affair with your own father. I'm sure she looked like an ass because the other nurses knew he's your dad, although it's shocking not one person told her that. But she didn't try to find out the truth, so she didn't deserve for you to go to her and explain like she's your friend. Let me say something too. A nurse, they love correcting people when they're stupid. The fact that none of these nurses said anything to this woman means they all wanted her to get fired. This may not be the first time she's acting a fool. All of these nurses are like, oh, you think so, huh? Interesting. Okay. They're bookmarking you. They're reading you up and down. They're like, okay, this is the thing. This is the thing. And so when HR came out, boom. And you know what? I'm not the only person who thinks this. NTA, I doubt this was the only reason she was fired. The real hint on this is the other nurse is not telling her and letting her tie her own noose. That's exactly right, dude. They wanted her gone. And then this here is more of a forward-thinking thought with 13,000 upvotes. This comment here says, not the asshole. If you would have handled it privately, she would have just moved on to the next round of gossiping about coworkers. Now she might learn to keep her opinions to herself. How hard is it to say, they seem friendly, or how do they know each other, instead of, oh my God, an affair? So to answer the question, no. Am I the a-hole for taking my daughter out for a nice dinner and leaving everyone else to fend for themselves? Ooh, pretty good. I like this. This could go either way. My daughter, 16-year-old female, and I, 43-year-old female, love eating authentic Asian restaurants. We had to pick my son up at a Korean barbecue, who is 12 years old, about 40 minutes from our house. It was a party with another family. I suggested to my husband, 44 male, of 25 years, that he and the two other kids can have whatever they wanted for dinner, and my daughter and I would get Korean barbecue at this restaurant. He said no. We should all go as a family. I reminded him that he and the other kids aren't big fans of Korean barbecue, and it would be cheaper to eat separately. He insisted on everyone going. When we get to the restaurant and he sees the menu, he complains he doesn't know what to order and complains about the price. Okay, so you gave them the opportunity. And this is something you like doing with your daughter, eating authentic Asian restaurants. The other kids followed suit, meaning complaining, I think. I suggested they go eat in another restaurant in the plaza, and my daughter and I will get the Korean food. It smelled so amazing, by the way. We waited 20 minutes for a table, and he continued to make comments about the price. He even told me, you better not order anything fancy. That was the last straw. I got up and went to the van. Everyone followed. I said I was taking everyone home, and my daughter and I would go on our own to a local Korean barbecue. We did exactly that. Everyone else had McDonald's and played Roblox. You know, I've never played Roblox. I've never gotten into it. I get home and he is fuming, saying that I owe everyone an apology. I refused. I said I had zero remorse. It seemed like everyone was happy but him and went to bed. I slept perfectly fine. He's still mad. So AITA for taking my daughter out for a dinner and leaving everyone else to do their own thing. I have a couple questions. One, how expensive was it? You know, him saying you better not order anything nice and him complaining about the food and the prices and not knowing what to get. He wasn't going to have a good time. He was going to have a bad experience. Some people need to learn that way. You should be able to have a good time with your family. And if it's your husband bringing everybody down and the other kids, you know, bringing down the vibe, you'd be like, all right, you don't want a nice thing? That's okay. This is a parenting moment for your husband, it seemed. You gave them the opportunity and they didn't like it. It's like, all right, we're going. This is a guy who, this husband, somebody who cannot experience discomfort without being vocal about it. I think the lesson here for everybody should be, if you're going to complain, don't be surprised if it gets taken away from you. I remember when I was a kid once, my parents, my mom and dad, left to go golfing, and they asked me if I wanted to come. I said, no, I don't want to come. And then they were leaving, and I was like, wait, no, I want to come. But they already closed the door, and they left, and I was crying. I was like, no, I want to go. I actually want to go. I changed my mind, whatever. But they were already gone, and I remember crying so much, and I was like so sad, and I felt abandoned in that moment and all this stuff. They showed me, it's like, all right, this is what happens when you make a decision. If you make a decision and you don't like the outcome, then maybe next time you'll change your mind. You know, you'll change your behavior. And I think this is hopefully something that happens here. But this guy fuming, saying that you owe everyone an apology. Dude, if I was a kid, McDonald's rocks, man. McDonald's is good. It's good, you know? They were all playing Roblox, eating McDonald's. What's better than that? You know, that's fine, dude. Me personally, I would like to see this. Like, I would like to see it all and see how it was acted out and see how she, you know, left the table and got everybody in the van and how they were complaining. I'm really curious about that because I feel like I don't have a full picture. So as far as it seems probably not, but also, I don't know. I feel like I personally don't have enough information. It was definitely a pointed move towards your spouse. It was you trying to teach them a lesson in a way. I also am of the mind, though, in my world, if I'm on vacation somewhere with my family, I'm cool with everybody doing their own thing. I think that's great. Maybe we all come together at the end of the day and have a dinner together or the beginning of the day. But as a family, you know, you don't have to do every single thing together all the time. But the way that this dad sees it as like an affront to the family unit. If you insist on everyone in your family going, sir, then put on a smile. Make it worthwhile. You asked for this, and so don't complain. If you're asking to be included in something, don't complain. You're just a vibe killer. All right, let's see what the comments say. NTA, you told him what your plan was. And he and you both knew he and the other kids didn't like Korean barbecue. Honestly, dude could have looked at the menu online. Plus, who doesn't love Korean barbecue? Those short ribs are to die for. I freaking love Korean barbecue, dude. There's like a little grill you cook on. You put all your meat in there, and then you put it on little plates and stuff. It's just this really awesome experience. A lot of restaurants look kind of like that. You know, got a little hot plate in the middle, and y'all cook it up together, right? The thing about Korean barbecue restaurants, though, is if you're going to go to one, prepare your body to reek of smoke. The floors are going to be slippery, dude, because of all the smoke and oil in the air and the splattering and stuff. Floors are going to be slippery. You're going to smell like smoke, but dude, is it fun. And the food is so good, man. It's great to go with somebody who's been there before. I went with Stephen He once at a Korean barbecue joint, and God, that was so good. He just kept ordering stuff and cooking it up and stuff, and dude, it was so tasty. Pickled kimchi, like pickled stuff, so good. Kimchi, dude, oh, of course not. Your daughter's happy, all the kids are good. There's just one whiny person. Honestly, your husband sounds like a douchebag. He just likes complaining. And for us men out there, listen to this. See if this aligns with you, okay? Just check yourself, check your personality here. It says, there's nothing worse than having a whiny husband who insists on joining you, then makes the experience miserable. All these people here are saying NTA, NTA, NTA. Why does husband insist on going if he doesn't like the food? Anyone who has a problem with Korean barbecue isn't right at all. Dude, just look at that, man. Look at that. Oh, man. This is like a fine dining Korean restaurant, though. Look at that. Oh, my God. Am I the a-hole? My boyfriend peed the bed and is mad at me for my response. My boyfriend, 27-year-old, and I, female 23, just moved into a new house and bought a new mattress. We're setting ourselves up for success here. Last night, I woke up to a wet feeling under my arm and hand. It got your arm? My boyfriend was already up and in the bathroom. When he came back, I asked him if he spilled something in the bed or knew why it was wet. He told me he thinks he peed the bed. I asked him again and said, wait, are you serious? And he said, I think I peed in my dream and peed in real life. This is a real thing for people. I don't mean to laugh at it. It's just watching a guy put it together. I think I peed in my dream and peed in real life. It's just just watching somebody put the pieces together. It's just such a funny thing. Because I've said this before on this channel, is like, I have a lot of dreams where I'm peeing in my dream. And when I wake up, I didn't do anything, but I had to pee, you know? It's just funny. I don't know, man. It's just funny. Okay. I'm sure it's bad that I think it's funny, but whatever, dude. Come on. We are both half awake at this point, and I'm just surprised that he actually did wet the bed. I asked him to go grab stuff to clean it up, and he told me that it was fine. Pause. Huh? I asked him what he meant by that. And he grabbed a towel, laid it on the wet spot, and got back into bed to go to sleep. Burn the house down. You got yourself a boyfriend who's comfy sleeping in his own piss. This ain't Iwo Jima. Y'all ain't prisoners of war. And this guy is 4 years your senior. You know, you probably are dating him thinking, yeah, you have a mature adult relationship. He peed the bed and he's like, it's good. Put a towel on it, sleep on it. That tells me this isn't his first rodeo. I pulled the covers off of him and told him that he needs to go grab stuff to clean it up because I don't want it to get stained, and it's a new mattress and we don't have the mattress cover for it yet. Oh yeah, mattress cover. That protects a new mattress. He told me that it was fine and I'm overreacting. That statement naturally pissed me off, and I told him I'm not going to sleep in his piss and that it's not fair to me, which is a correct opinion and something that makes a lot of sense and is an appropriate human being reaction, I think. He told me that he'd clean it in the morning and that is not a big deal and doesn't warrant the reaction I have. That was not the solution I wanted, so I took all the sheets off the bed and threw them at him and told him to sleep on the couch. It was very irritating hearing him tell me that I'm overreacting because I asked him to clean up his pee in the bed we both slept in. He then knocked on the door 10 minutes later asking for a new blanket because the one I gave him smelled like pee. So AITA for overreacting to my boyfriend not cleaning up the pee in the bed right away. The answer is no. I don't even need to read the comments. There's an update here, but let's read a couple. I've actually peed in my dream and peed in real life too. I woke up from it and immediately cleaned it. So no, you didn't overreacting. NTA, that's disgusting, and it's really concerning that he thought it was appropriate to curl up and sleep in a puddle of pee. NTA, and if he stays doubled down on this, I would strongly suggest rehoming him and finding one that's housebroken. Yeah, no, I think this guy just partied in college a little too often, and his standards of living are significantly lower than most people. Let's see the update. Thank you guys for the quick replies. This was my first post on Reddit, and I don't use it very much, but after he left for work today, I really couldn't get the situation off of my mind. I thought I'd see what y'all had to say. I'll address a few comments from the first post. First of all, I wish it was fake, but I really did wake up yesterday to piss in the bed and ended up arguing about it with my boyfriend. My boyfriend and I have only lived together in small stints here and there before, but this is the first time we have our own house, just us. No, he doesn't have a drug or alcohol problem, diabetes, take meds, and wasn't drinking that night. He just worked an overnight shift the previous night and he was pretty tired. Okay, so that rules out like medical conditions or whatever. He's never done this before since we've been together, so that's why I didn't believe him at first. And we don't have a lot of money right now, so we got a mattress from Walmart for $300 for those of you bashing that detail, LOL. We both ended up cleaning the pee after I threw the sheets and blankets at him, and I took the bed because our couch isn't big, and I really couldn't be bothered to move to the couch when I felt like I did nothing wrong. I was tired and wasn't thinking that part through entirely. Also, he's not a horribly abusive boyfriend. He doesn't have a fetish, etc., like some of the comments have said. And I didn't throw him out of the house. He was truly half awake and was just not responsive to the way he needed to be after peeing in our bed. Okay, so what I'm hearing here is he was just exhausted and was like dreaming in a dream state and was like, it's okay, it's fine, it's good, it's okay, we're gonna go to sleep. You overreacting, stop it, you overreacting. He's putting a towel down, like, stop it, Drew, come on, man, stop, man, we're cleaning up in the morning. You know that moment where you're like, if I just sleep a little longer, I could deal with that tomorrow. For those of you like me, I could sleep through almost anything. I really could, dude. I could sleep oh God, I sleep so hard. It's scary sometimes. But I think that this dude was just in goo goo gaga la la land. He was just freaking dreaming his pee away, you know? He was just there having the time of his life in this dream. Maybe he wanted to get back to climbing a ladder to heaven with Grimace, the McDonald's monster. And, you know, he was just ready to go back to that dream state. That's all I'm saying. And he does seem apologetic here because Op says, anyways, he got back from work today with flowers and my favorite ice cream. He told me he was thinking about what happened last night all day and that he was sorry. He apologized for dismissing me and that he was disrespectful. I told him that the only issue I had with the situation was him telling me I was overreacting for me wanting to clean up the pee at the moment. That wasn't fair to me and expect me to be okay sleeping in his pee. Let me be clear. I understand accidents happen, but to sit there and tell me my response to needing it cleaned up ASAP is unwarranted is insane. I appreciated the gesture and I did read what you guys said. He doesn't have any underlying trauma or alcoholic issues. He just peed the bed by accident. I wasn't shaming him for peeing the bed. I was mad at his response. I'm trying to be understanding that he was tired and wanted to go back to bed, but at the same time, this affects both of us. I just needed him to be responsible and acknowledge that what I said was valid and he needs to grow up. He did order a mattress cover that will be here tomorrow, so until that's on the mattress, I don't want him in the bed with me. I think making him sleep with those sheets and blankets did jolt him awake to realizing the gravity of the situation. I'm still a bit hurt from how he handled the situation selfishly and was inconsiderate, but he seems pretty remorseful, so we'll see how we both feel later. That's it for now. Thank you guys for your advice. Yeah, hopefully he does feel remorseful, and hopefully he understands that him saying you're overreacting is not good. You know, there's a part of me that wonders like how deep in this dream state when he was like, come on, man, don't overreact, man. Come on, you know, it's like, stop. No, I'm not sleeping in your pee, dude. Come on, it's fine. It's warm. Just good times. Grimace. You know, hopefully this was just a blip in the relationship. What a literal mess. Oh my God, that's so funny. One very important life lesson here. Never use the dream toilet. That means you have to know it's a dream. I hate to say this, guys. I use the dream toilet all the time. I'm peeing in my dreams all the time. Not in real life. I think my brain is holding strong right now, but when I'm in my 70s, game over. I'm having a bad time. Pee in the dream toilet, don't 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 pee in the dream toilet. Good luck getting that out of your head. Outro. Don't pee in the dream toilet, 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 don't pee in the dream